What's going on, guys? It's your boy LQ, Mr. Real Deal Fantasy HQ, giving you the heat on the NFT drafters. The future of fantasy sports is here, people. Hit that link in the bio, check out the website, and get your playing cards, people. So here we are with this week's Smash Picks. These guys need to be in lineups. They need to be in conversation. They got some great matchups this week. So let's get right into it. So my first guy, Smash Pick, you need to have him in lineups right now. Jacoby Myers versus the Bucks this week. I know it looks a little scary against the Bucks defense, but fun fact, they're number one with fantasy points per game for wide receivers. So Jacoby Myers is due for a breakout, people. He is due for a breakout, a bounce back, whatever you want to call it, but this is a smash play. Jacoby Myers is going against the Bucks defense, who needs some help in the secondary. That's why they signed Richard Sherman. But again, Richard Sherman, I'm not too sure if we're getting the Richard Sherman from the Legion of Boom, but he needs to show me something before I stamp him as an elite corner once again, and probably not going to make that much of an impact after, coming back to one game. He's 3 weeks late into the season, so we'll see what happens. So Jacoby Myers versus the Bucks is definitely a smash. Again, he's due for a bounce back. Last season, we've seen him go off 7 out of 11 his games that he started. He had double-digit points, but no touchdowns. So he has 104 receptions right now for a career, but 0 touchdowns. That's the only lackluster side about Jacoby Myers. But again, he has a chance to find the end zone this week. So hopefully Mac Jones can find his wide receivers, and Jacoby Myers just benefits from everything with his great matchup this week. So next up, I got Noah Fant versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Ravens have been struggling on defense with a lot of injuries, guys banged up. I know they're missing Marcus Peters by like a ton right now, but they've been struggling specifically against the tight ends right now. Now, Noah Fant steps up as that second option after Cortland Sutton, being that, KJ Hamler's out for the season. Jerry Jeudy's still dealing with injury as well. So he obviously becomes another great target for Teddy Bridgewater to find. Now, again, the Ravens are giving up the most points versus tight ends right now. This is something that we need to smash this week with Noah Fant. Noah Fant has been looking good. He's been able to have a constant volume, being that these guys are out with injury. Even though I think even with a Jerry Jeudy there or a KJ Hamler, Noah Fant will still find his way to be fantasy relevant. So having Noah Fant this week is a great plug and play against the Ravens, again, who've been struggling on defense this week against, the Broncos. I definitely think, the tight end position is something that it could be found out pretty early as their weakness, being that their linebackers aren't covering much of anything, but they're blitzing a lot. That's good, right? But again, Noah Fant this week is definitely a smash play. Next up, I got Miles Sanders. I definitely have him due for a bounce back. Last week against Dallas was an embarrassment, honestly. I mean, the Eagles only ran the ball about 12 times, and 7 of those times it was Jalen Hurts running the ball, and Miles Sanders only had 2 rushing attempts for 27 yards. So they kind of abandoned the run to the running backs completely. I think Kenneth Gainwell only had 1 rushing attempt, but hey, this is the game plan to get back to the run going against the Kansas City Chiefs this week, who's given up the most points per game. Well, I'll say 4th most points per game to running back. So therefore, this is a great matchup for Miles Sanders to be able to cut loose. I mean, he ran the ball twice for 27 yards. Like, that is a good, average yards per carry. So I definitely think, they need to get back to the run and attack Kansas City's weakness, because I called it last week where Austin Eckler was going to have a bounce back week. And what do you know? There it is. This week, Miles Sanders needs this bounce back to remain fantasy relevant. So again, the Eagles need to stick to their guns and stick with the game plan and not veer off too much from it and panic and have stats look like that. Running the ball 12 times against Dallas is absurd. Very absurd. That's why they lost the game. So again, we need Miles Sanders to have this bounce back, but he's a smash play this week. Now, last but certainly probably least, because he's my least favorite fantasy guy, but he has a great matchup. He's coming back from injury. He had an okay outing last week, put up 13 fantasy points for all the guys out there in PPR leagues. But Odell Beckham, yeah, I'm not a big fan of Odell Beckham. If you follow my stuff on RealDealFantasyHQ.com or Real Deal Fantasy on Twitter, of course, this is a shameless plug and play right now. But hey, you were here, you see the face, you know the case. So again, Odell Beckham against the Vikings this week has a great matchup. He has the ability to find the end zone because, hey, the Vikings have given up 6 touchdowns to wide receivers. And I think the Vikings right now are struggling and trying to figure out that defense, how good they are or how bad they are. They're just in the middle of the pack when it comes to overall defense, but they're giving up a lot of fantasy points for wide receivers as well. They're the top of the table when it comes to wide receivers points per game as well. So Odell Beckham is a freak athlete. We know he's great. We know he's good. This is a favorable matchup for Odell Beckham. So this is why he is a smash play. Never thought I would actually say, go play Odell Beckham. But again, I like the matchup. I like the upside. He seems healthy. I guess go play Odell Beckham. So this wraps up another great episode of NFT Drafters, the future of fantasy sports. Need to be hitting that link in the bio, figuring out what the hype is about, going to the website and checking this out. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel as well. That helps a lot. That lets us know we're doing a great job. And I'll see you guys next week for another great episode. Peace.